who will introduce the top table and give you a little bit of background information. Bob.
Thanks, Joe. I think most of you know me now. I'm Bob Young. I'm one of the joint administrators. Steve Curry, my partner from Begbie's Trainer, and joint administrators also with us at the back of the room. On my left, I'm pleased to introduce Paul Wiles, who is, with his partner Norman Smurthwaite, the new preferred bidder and now has exclusivity for the acquisition of Port Vale. On his left is a chap who needs no introduction, Mickey Adams, whose valiant work over the last couple of months has made it much easier for the administrators to have a little squabble of interested parties, thanks to the success on the field. And on his left, Steve Grocott from Grindy's, who is the solicitor acting for Begbie's Trainer, who's done sterling work all the way through that, and we've asked Steve to be here in case there's any, if you ask any difficult questions, because he's the lawyer and therefore the intelligent one. Little bit of background. As you know, we as administrators have been here far too long. We did think we'd sold the club once, but unfortunately Mr. Ryder was unable to complete on that transaction. Having said that, every cloud has a silver lining, and perhaps because of the publicity that we've generated, there have been a number of new interested parties come forward. Paul and his colleague Norman Smurthwaite are probably the most recent party to come to the table, but they have impressed us with the speed with which they've done their due diligence, their plans for the whole of Vale Park, not just the football club, the fact that they've done exactly what they've said they would do when they've said they would do it, the fact that they said they would sign heads of terms with us last week, which we did on Friday, the fact that they said they would pay the £100,000 deposit to ensure exclusivity, which they have done, and therefore I believe that Port Vale will have a very bright future if we can conclude this transaction. The sale price has been agreed at £1.25 million. That is all in cash, there is no deferred consideration. I've been shown the money, so I'm sure it's there. And there's no reason to believe that Paul and Norman will not be deemed suitable parties by the Football League. We've already mentioned their names to the Football League, who don't appear to have any problems with them, although it has to be stressed it has to go through the Football League fit and proper person test before the sale can be agreed, because as you know, there has to be the transfer of the share in the Football League and also the share in the Football Association before formal completion can take place. We have, on Paul's behalf, submitted the fit and proper persons questionnaires to the Football League for himself and Norman. Since then, the financial information that the Football League asked for has been provided, and we believe the Football League are going to start their due diligence to check on the suitability and the business plans of the new company over the next week or two. We would like to complete by the end of October. Paul is very keen to do so. Whether we can do that is largely down to how quickly the Football League and the FA can move in providing permission to complete within that time scale. Before I hand over to Paul, rather than me tell you his background, suffice to say that we're very happy that he has the wherewithal to do this and a very successful business background, which leads me to believe that he's really in a position to take the club forward, not just because he's got the money, but he's got the sort of nous to know how to take the club forward properly. But I'd like to just thank Mickey and his coaches for such a fantastic start to the season, for working so well with us as administrators in what's been a difficult time, and I'd like to convey my thanks to all of the staff at Port Vale who've been quite magnificent, and also to the supporters club who are represented here today by Pete Williams, by Gary, by Martin. So they'll be available for questions afterwards. But suffice to say, we've had their help all the way through this, and thank you guys for your assistance in communicating with the supporters. So without further ado, I'll let Paul tell you a bit about himself and his plans for Port Vale once we achieve completion.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start by saying that I'm very pleased to be here. We started our due diligence on the club about 2 weeks ago. I attended the Gillingham game, as well as I came here last night as well, and I've been very impressed with what's been happening on the field. I'm even more impressed by the potential of the stadium and the land and building surrounding it, and the commercial activities that could be brought to Vale Park, which is one of the reasons why I'm very interested. We've got some synergies with some of the businesses that we currently own that will help develop the venue into more of a 7-day-a-week venue instead of a 3-hour every other Saturday venue. The facilities here are fantastic. We're coming into a club with, or what will have, no debt, will own its own ground, which I think is relatively unique up and down the footballing world. We're coming to it with ideas around how we can develop the off-field activities of the club to try and make the commercial venture a successful one over a number of years. I think one thing that's important for me to say now is that the decisions that we will be making today and over the coming years will be ones for the long-term interest of the football club. We're not a business that needs to have short-term cash flow decisions, don't need to be made here. What we will be looking to do is make decisions that are for the long-term benefit of the club, and that might mean the paybacks, we're talking about years, not months, but certainly something that we'll be looking to implement. So I'm very excited to be here. I think it's probably best that I'll leave it to you guys to ask me questions, and I'll answer them. So I think it's probably worth passing over to everybody else now, Bob, unless you want anybody else to say anything.
I think it's probably best to open it up to questions.